Sports Haircuts, and let's delve into a very commonly discussed issue here in Port Harcourt. I get to hear this conversation virtually everywhere I go, sometimes from the market. We've had this, I think it was 2 years ago, we had that very interesting conversation when we had a man, one of our reporters, go into the market. And right here, we got to share with you tickets from all the various groups that were demanding money from the traders at the market. That's Oil Mill Market. Aha, yes, now my memory is working. Oh, come on, brain, thank you. Now, this morning, I'd like to talk a little bit about community levies. Now, let me say this, let me have this caveat. First of all, levies are important. It's just the same way taxes are important. They're totally important for the general well-being of a particular group of people in a particular area. Without them, it's going to be very difficult for development to come through, right? So we don't live in any utopia, right, on this planet. There isn't any. Ideally, maybe you don't need any sort of taxes, but because we all have to pay our quota to make sure that we have defense systems, health management systems, social security type systems, everybody has to make a little bit of a contribution, right? Good. However, you see, in recent days, weeks, months, and years, the problem with these levies have now turned into a bit of a bother, a bit of a sour taste or sour taste in the mouth of many a Rivers residents. So, my questions, 2 questions this morning, right? Now, should levies be stopped? Listen, should levies be stopped, right? As most communities don't use these levies effectively. What levies are we talking about? At the junctions of almost every major street or major highway or route in this town, you find people who come there and say, "Oh, we're collecting money, community money." Whether you call them Agboro or their traffic coordinators, whatever it is you want to call them, right? Now, what are these monies used for in the community? Now, in these parts, right, don't get me wrong, from what I found out, yes, they do remit some money to maybe the local chief there or the CTC chairman in one area or something, or the youth council chairman or whatever it is. They do remit some nairas and kobos to those individuals. But what exactly is the money used for? Is the money used to sweep the streets? Or is it only used to help bury people, who are 80 plus? Is it only used, for baby dedication of one big chief in the area? Do the people actually feel the benefits? Like, as we're talking this morning, as I'm asking this question, please, wherever you are, Rumo Kalagbo, Rumola, Rumo C, Rumeke, Rumoke, all right? Anywhere out of church, ask yourself these questions, all right? Do you get to see the community persons or the community leaders in the area? Do you see them come out, and say, "Oh, today we are going to make sure that we sweep this place. We're going to pay people to dig this place, or we're going to pay people to put security measures." Do you see those things? Do you actually feel I'm not saying that there are none. Please listen, because I've lived in about 4 or 5 communities in this state, and I can tell you, yes, there are some communities where you get to feel the presence, all right, of the community leaders or whatever in that area. But by and large, do you think those community levies, whether it's at the markets, whether it's at your shops, those people, I even hear, and I've seen a few of them, they sometimes stop those, what do you call them, hawkers. And then those people who hawk and bring out their wares along Rumokoro, right? They tell you they've paid money to the community boys, the community groups. And please, for the sake of this conversation, let us just not pretend that the CTC chairman, that the local government chairman in the past, or that the youth leaders in the councils did not know or do not know that these things have been coming or have been happening. You may argue some of them are illegal, right? But they have been happening. Now, if that is the case, these levies, oh dear Rivers residents, right? Should we stop them? Because after all, most of these communities don't use these levies appropriately.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
92.3 Nigeria Info.
017-923-0002, 017-923-0007, 017-923-0002, 017-923-0007. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH, all right, is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. Now, interestingly, there's a similar event, or there was a similar issue that was raised in Abuja. This was a few weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, where the Abuja Municipal Area Council, that's the AMAC, demanding the payment. Listen to this, of a community development levy from businesses in the Federal Capital Territory. Now, last month, the council allegedly issued a 14-day ultimatum for the payment of 100,000 naira to some business owners. They say it's not also, we don't know anything about it. But for that to have happened, maybe there's a history. Victor is in Rumo Krushi. Victor, good morning to you. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, Victor.
Just like there was a time I asked you a question about what are we doing with our taxes, and you say you are not in position to answer that question.
I never said so.
Yes. Now, when you talk about tax, is our responsibility. In short, as a citizen, you didn't pay tax, you commit a sin. It's a sin. Even if somebody didn't tell you, you have to know now that not paying tax is a sin. It's not just a government thing. You must pay your tax. Because even Jesus Christ pays tax. What are they doing? Because we can't be accountable to all the taxations, especially in River State. When you go to your question, now, these persons, who are they accountable to? This is the first question we should ask ourselves. Who are they accountable to? And I look at it, allegedly, or to me, I look at it that these are people that politicians settle. Because CTC chairman of Obiakpo local government will never tell me that, because I will look at it as a lie, that he doesn't know all the numbers of Agboro operating on Aba Road first, operating at the Rumo Grove, operating at these certain points. You will not tell me that. This person come out to the main road and they are acting this thing, they didn't hide it. Some of them will go as far as challenging you. But who are you accountable to? Where is that money? How are we using it? Who regulates these things? So if you ask my opinion, those things, if the right tax should be done by the government, the government should stop this madness on the road. It's too much. It's getting out of place. Taxation everywhere, nobody to be account for. Now we are here in this River State. In short, in Nigeria as a whole, we pay everything, every damn thing. And the government was not even used. I go as noticing that government are charging you for every 10,000 naira you pay to the bank. And you are withdrawing, they are charging you. All these taxes. What are the dividends that we enjoy on from it? You know, now, look at the person that are here. Now, nobody regulated tax in River State. How do we know? What are they doing with it? Who will account for it? Who is accounting? What are we doing? You see, somebody just come up and says, we are the community. Okay, like tomorrow is at the
oil mill.
The major market here. Dude, you will be very surprised. In short, it will shock you. The kind of taxation in different forms. That's the question. We buy, the government didn't even help matter. The gas that we thought, they removed the subsidy. The electricity, they removed, they are not paying for anything. And now we are paying for everything. The fuel is very high. And now the taxation is the worst part of it. Nobody is regulating for it. What are we doing? So if you ask for people's opinion, it should stop.
It should stop. Okay.
If we cannot regulate it, we should stop.
All right. Victor says if we cannot regulate it, we should stop. He has a good point, though. But I can't think I ever recorded telling anybody, I don't know what they do with the taxes. I just said exactly what they do with the taxes. You know, they are meant to help fix roads, build hospitals and all those type of things. The question anybody would say is that, but are we seeing all those things? Is the quality now that is the issue? But yes, do they use them? Yes, they do. Right, we'll go on the break. When we come back, once again, it's a very honest question, this morning, please.
The show continues after this break on Nigeriainfo.
I didn't mention it earlier. I'd like to say this again. So, we have numbers for the reception of messages. That'll be WhatsApp and Telegram. And that number is 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. Now, throughout the entirety of the opening conversation, the opening salvo, and indeed during the commercial, some numbers have been calling that line. All right, so please, the number to call if you want to speak to us is 0817 923 0002. I would like to say that again, 0817 923 0002. All right. So with that number, you can call in. I get to pick the call. There's a call screener, and then we exchange ideas, and we hopefully get to talk for development. But if you want to send us a message, please 0809 030 6416. That's the WhatsApp and Telegram number. At Nigeriainfo PH. At Nigeriainfo PH is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo PH at Nigeriainfo PH. So now let's get back to our conversation starter this morning. I'm talking about community levies. And they're everywhere. We all get levied. On my street, for example. We need to raise money so we can get people to be carrying out our trash early in the morning so nobody litters the area. That's a form of levying. You want to build a church, for example. The members are levied, so that they can raise money to carry out that setting or that particular project. Now, in itself, there's nothing wrong with levies. Nothing wrong, right? But the question here is, with the amount of levies being placed upon residents in some parts, if not all parts of Port Harcourt, particularly that quote-unquote community money that we all pay every day. Let me say that again. We all pay money every day. How do we pay money? For example, you get to the junction, you want to get into the taxi. The taxi driver tells you, your fare is 200 naira. Now, from that 200 naira, he's probably going to take maybe like 20 or 10 naira or whatever, right? I think 10, 20 naira on the average. And then he's going to give one guy 100 naira for loading his vehicle. That 100 naira is community money. Let me say that again. Community money. That community money is meant to develop that community where that taxi or where that particular park is domiciled. Now, on paper, it is a great idea. Fantastic idea, right? But if we were to be a bit more intentional in our scrutiny, we'll find out that a lot of the things happening in certain communities, right, do not need Governor Sim Fubara or any governor in any state, anywhere, to come through and say, we will do this. Because these levies have been generated. What are they used for, ladies and gentlemen? So, if we, in all honesty, can't pinpoint, or maybe we have seen some, but you're not quite satisfied, should they still continue?
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
And now, hello, Port Harcourt, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
Once again, numbers to call 017-923-0002, 017-923-0002. WhatsApp is 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. I get to WhatsApp and start off there before I get to the phone lines. This one reads, on illegal taxation, one tax force guy gave me Obiakpo CTC number to call that nothing will happen. I doubt it. It was obviously his number. Those guys at Eleme Junction are a menace to the public. Ernest in Port Harcourt. Oh, really? Well, this is one story. I can't hold this as kosher, because obviously we want to get to hear different views so that no one gets accused. Oh, you only read one person's side. It could be the wrong side. Maybe not. But once again, one thing that's been very clearly established here is that you have a lot of people who are not particularly pleased with these community levies, and they vary. And if you go to the market sometimes, and I've been to a few of these markets where it's interesting, right? That they still have the town crier. No jokes. In this Port Harcourt, some of you who are in GRA and other George area, you probably don't know they still have town criers within the city. In those smaller, so they say make everybody 50, 100, and like I said, levies on their own, not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. But the question is, when you look at the scale with which at which they're being collected, you have to ask, what exactly is being done with these monies? Ikechukwu for me work first says, good morning. Those community levies are very important, and you don't know some of the things that happen in those communities that are being solved by those monies that they generate. For example, the security, some of those boys who stay outside, how do you think they get the money to pay them, to sort them, and also for their movement? Because sometimes in my area they move around in a small keke bus. Where do you think those monies come from? Okay, get you guys a good point. For those areas where, and I think I've seen a few of those places where they actually have, people who patrol, in more secluded spaces. There are some areas where I don't know if anybody has seen them. I know I've seen in these parts. Their bosses, they go around. You see the boys there. They have sticks. They have their uniform or whatever. he's right. You pay for the fuel. It's not free. They don't go to the petrol station and say, now we they run this area. Give us free fuel. No, it's not possible, right? So he does have a point. These monies, if collected and used properly, would actually benefit the general community. 01923-0002, 0817-923-0003. I've been seeing the calls come in and drop. Please bear with us. That's definitely a network challenge. Service provider issues. Zion is on the line from GRE. Zion, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's tell ourselves the truth for once. It's not drop color. No money to buy credit again. Tell ourselves the truth for once. When it comes to these taxations, community involvement is criminal.
Really?
Very wrong. Yes. Totally wrong. But this is a country that breeds crime and criminalities.
That's not exactly true.
Then why are community doing those things? Why? And the way they go about it is totally wrong. In this issue of community security, it's supposed to be the responsibility of the community people, indigenous responsibility, and not tenants of visitors or investors' responsibilities. I once lived in an environment in this Port Harcourt that, let's say we recorded crime incidents once. They just came to collect cars, stuff and stuff like that. But after that period, we now relocated somewhere else. Before, by the grace of God, the mercy of God now visited us now. The truth is this. When communities go about this issue, check very well. There are very lazy set of people there. People who have this entitlement mentality. People who are so envious and jealous that you are prospering in their land. And we should be so grateful that people are prospering in their communities. We are looking at the security side first. It's not bad to get people mobilized to do security work. Where I am now, the guy is there. I just saw about 5-6 guys that I think they are able, but they are engaged them. Can you people do this here? And they say, why not? We are looking for who will mobilize us. And before you know, from 6-7 now, there are about close to 10-15 guys now securing our environment for us. And the landlord here and other concerned citizens will just contribute. Let us motivate them. But the beauty is that security is here. Your kids are safe. Nightlife is in our environment. People stay late till midnight. Businesses are on in this environment. It is beautiful. But let's flip the story. Can you pay for the kidnap, the turmoil, the everything associated to that compared to the little you are giving to this guy to secure your environment? You cannot equate it. But communities go about to extort people. And because of the ineptitude of the police, the ineptitude of the security agencies, they are just like, leave them, let them do our work for us. Do you know that it's a criminal offense? It's an indictment to the police. If there is a criminal act, a kidnapping or whatever in your community, and there is a police jurisdiction there, and the DPO is not aware, he did nothing, you the individuals are suffering, you know it's an offense. I want to plead with this community, people who go about frustrating tenants, investors, and people living in your community. Stop frustrating people like that. Let's take the Rumukurushi for a practical case. What Rumukurushi community is doing, God, I don't know if you have gone there on Wednesday.
Well, tomorrow's Wednesday. We know what's going to happen. We're expecting more stories.
Oh, my goodness.
The
level of extortion. And we have used this political correlation not to talk. destroy our political structure.
All right, let me hear from Azunda in Rumimi. Azunda, good morning. Thank you for your patience, please.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, please. Go on.
I think for me, in this area of taxation, there's nothing wrong about it. But the irony about it is that if you check very well, most of the times, these people that collect this money, they don't get to use this money to maybe repair some of these potholes.
Okay.
Like, in the community area. But if you talk about the church area, I think for me, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, no, like I said, there's nothing wrong in any level at society or in society where levies are made. But